Yo, what is going on, guys? JohnnyGB here, bringing you guys week 4 of the NPL. I do apologize for this being late. Had some family emergencies the last week, so been back since Monday, probably Sunday night, and now finally actually getting into recording some of the stuff that I was supposed to you guys see with the ICBA week 2 going up yesterday. You will have ICBA week 4 going up tomorrow, and we will be back on schedule with NPL week 5 on Friday. So, week 4, we are taking on Rewt, coach of the New Jersey Brobats. I played Rewt in PGL, and I think I played him in the PGBL. So, I mean, I've been in a couple leagues with Rewt, so if you watch any draft leagues on YouTube, most likely Rewt is in one of them, because he plays in a lot of leagues. So, you guys see his team on the screen. Cinccino, we're not playing Little Cup. Cinccino, Jellicent, Zygarde, Ribombee. He brought the Torkoal, so we have the Weather Wars going and the Zebstrika. So, right away, the one thing that was annoying to me is he did have a Volt Turn combination with Ribombee, Cinccino, and Zebstrika. So, it was a little hard for me to get my Weather in safely, whereas I don't have that much initiative. So, I'm just going to lead off with my Vikavolt here. I figured that Zebstrika or Torkoal would probably be the lead to counter my Weather, but he actually leads off with Cinccino, and I was not risking taking the Rock Blast, so I just go out into my Mega Medicham, as he's just going to click U-turn. So, again, this is where that initiative of his team actually just hinders me, because I don't have the greatest bulk on my team at all. My team is not bulky whatsoever. So he's going to go out into his Zygarde. He's going to Aura break the opposing Pokemon's Aura. I do have Fake Out, so I'm actually okay with that. I can click Fake Out. I can do a bunch of damage to this thing. And without its source of reliable recovery, I can now pretty much put this in range of Fake Out plus Bullet Punch actually picking up a KO. You see Fake Out's going to do about 35-40% to the Zygarde. And now this is where I just have to retreat, and I have to get out into something bulky enough to take either an Extreme Speed or a 1,000 Arrows. And that Pokemon is my Pelipper. But Rewt makes a fantastic read here. Rewt just makes reads on me the entire game. So he's going to just go for 1,000 Arrows. Knock me straight down to the ground, does almost half, and I just have to click Roost here as he goes out into Bubble Buddy, the Jellicent. So Jellicent, I figured, was the primary switch into my Pelipper. I'm going to actually get a Toxic off, so now I have this thing on a timer. The reason I go for Toxic there is he has no real good Toxic switch in, so even if he went Torkoal, which is what I was predicting, I would be able to actually have that thing on a timer as well, and his Weather wouldn't be as threatening. So he's actually going to make that first read here, and he's going to go out to 420, which is the Torkoal, blaze it up, and put out the Sun. So, unfortunate event for me, but I didn't really read around his Weather very well. I'm just going to get right back out in my Pelipper, as he will, I believe, set up his Stealth Rocks, which are a very important thing, because Pelipper is really my only source of hazard removal. The good thing is, though, if the rain is up, his only Pelipper switch-in is that Jellicent. He doesn't want to switch Zebstrika into anything, because Zebstrika is just frail. So he's going to go out to Alexis, which is the Cinccino, as I do Roost up. So again, he can Rock Blast here. If you look at my team, I don't have a very good Rock Blast switch-in at all. You just look at it the way I have it right now. Best one I have is possibly Kingdra. And with Kingdra, I can drop a free Draco on anything, because I'm not too worried about the Ribombee. So here, he's just going to click U-turn. I did not play aggressive enough on those U-turn plays, so he always had momentum. He's just going to get out to his Torkoal here and bring out the Sun. So for the second week in a row, we are taking on the Sun. Again, I believe in week 5, we're taking on a third Sun team. So, not very good for me. Here, I'm just going to get out to my Pelipper. We are going to take the Stealth Rock damage, as I believe he goes for Toxic to start wearing some of my bulk down and my Watermons down. He's actually just going to make the double. He's going to go out to Kevin, the Zebstrika. Excuse me there. So he goes out to Kevin, the Zebstrika. My only Zebstrika switch-in is my Vikavolt. But what does he get to do? He can actually just click Volt Switch. Again, I just have nothing for this Volt turn combination. My ground type is Golem. Can't really bring that. Although Golem probably would have helped against Cinccino and Zebstrika. I know they can carry HP Grass, but like a Rindo Berry Golem would have done phenomenal against his team in hindsight. So he's just going to go for the Rock Blast. At this point, I just have to sack off my Vikavolt. There's nothing I can really do. Which is a little unfortunate, but you know what? That's pretty much what had to be done. This allows me to get into my Kingdra here, and instead of going for a Surf Hydro Pump, I just go for the Draco. Draco Meteor is my safest play on anything that came in. I got a good chunk of damage off. If it was Torkoal, he's taking... Torkoal's actually O-code by Draco Meteor, but we're able to weaken the Kingdra, or not the Kingdra, the Jellicent. It's also going to take toxic damage, and I could have actually stayed in and just gone for the Draco Meteor once again and probably killed it with Choice Specs, but I decided, you know what, let's swap out. I don't want to get him into a free switch in, as I'll just go to my Pelipper. One, I want to remove these rocks, because the rocks are actually very annoying for me as he recovers. So I should have just taken the early, played aggressive, Draco Meteored, gotten rid of this Jellicent, because even at ±2 with the Choice Specs, I am picking up a KO on that Jellicent. So it was just unfortunate for me. So he's going to withdraw Bubble Buddy. He's actually going to go right out into Kevin. I'm just firing off a Scald. So this is where I decided, you know what, let's start playing aggressive here. I need to play aggressive so that I can get back into this game, because right now I have no momentum. I go for the Scald. It's going to weaken the Zebstrika, and with it burned now, and it's on a timer, Zebstrika has no recovery of any sorts. He hasn't shown, there's no leftovers on it, so I can go out into my Ludicolo. And Ludicolo actually does very well versus the rest of his team outside the Cinccino, because the Cinccino just clicks U-turn on me. But he has to get his sun up, because Swift Swim Ludicolo does outspeed the Cinccino right now. So he does get that sun up, unfortunately. And here, again, I have to play aggressive. I figure he's not going to stay in, so I can fire off a Giga Drain. I can get my health back. I needed to play aggressive, and bam, right there, Cinccino is crippled. So his two Switch Initiative Mons, both weakened by Giga Drain and Scald. He's just going to go for the U-turn here. Again, this was just a matter of me having to play aggressive. I could not play passive at this point anymore. He's going to go out to Beyonce, the Ribombee, as I just go for the Giga Drain here. Again, it was just the safe play. I have no reason not to click Giga Drain. He doesn't have very good grass resist, because you see there, that still does about 30% to the Ribombee. But as far as my Ribombee switch-ins, they're far and... They're very bad, as he's just going to get his Sticky Webs up. So the Sticky Web, I figured would be coming, and I do have Pelipper to defog. The thing is I just have to get Pelipper in safely to defog. He's just going to go for the Moonblast here, as I do set up the Swords Dance, which is perfectly fine with me. Because Mimikyu here can now just damage stuff on his team. I'm not expecting KOs. I just want Mimikyu to start damaging my opponent's team, so that I can go in with my Weather and clean up after. So Mimikyu here, going to pick up a kill on the Ribombee. And then in comes Alexis, the Minccino. So I know I can't Shadow Sneak it. I have to click Play Rough to knock it out. He's going to go for the Bullet Seed, which is actually not a bad play, because I don't really have a good Bullet Seed switch in. I have 3 Pokemon neutral to it, and it hits Medicham. But Mimikyu will actually be able to take the 5 bullet seeds here and live with just a little bit of health left. And I go for the play rough, and I end up missing it, which allows Minccino to pick up a kill here, which just frustrates me. And it's one kill that would erase some of his momentum. I just go out to my Medicham here as one of my only resorts of what to do. He's going to lower my speed, and now I have to play this really smart. Even though he still has his weather, I still have to play this really smart and make sure that I keep my weather alive. So here I just go for the fake out. It just does damage to everything on his team. He's going to show the leftovers on the Torkoal. And with all the switching he's doing, it really just upsets me that I did not get a good Stealth Rocker. A good Stealth Rocker would help my team tremendously. He's going to go out to Bubble Buddy, the Jellicent, as I'm just going to go for the Drain Punch. Probably should have just clicked Zen Headbutt, predicting the Jellicent, but it's just the way it goes. As here, I'm just going to Drain Punch again. I wasn't expecting him to actually stay in, but he does go for the Will-O-Wisp. I thought it was one of the turns that I really predicted a double switch. And again, it was just me trying to be aggressive here. So I decided, you know what, let's go out to my Pelipper and get my Rain up and try to just start damaging the rest of his team. Also get rid of these hazards on my side of the field so that I can have a slim chance of winning this game right now. So he's going to go for the Will-O-Wisp here, as I had a couple options. One, I can Roost, get my health back, or I can defog these hazards away. Rabombi is dead, so he can no longer get the sticky webs up. Torkoal can still get the rocks up. So, I mean, it was just a decision for me to make. I go for the defog. I felt like getting rid of the hazards to me is more important, as he's going to go for the Sludge Bomb here, predicting the Ludicolo to come in. So he did have the tech for the Ludicolo, but at this point now, my weather is gone. So now I have to figure out how to win this game with Medicham, Kingdra, Ludicolo without the weather. That's what it's coming down to, is I have to pick up 4 kills with those Pokemon. Here, I know the Torkoal's coming in, so I fire off a Draco Meteor. He has no Dragon Resist on his team. But the unfortunate side for me is I have no way to get weather up on my side of the field again. So I should have just roosted there and then defogged, gone into my Rain Sweepers. But Kingdra will pick up a kill here, knocking out the Torkoal. Only thing was, it's about 10 turns too late for me to kill that Torkoal, as he can pretty much just go into Zygarde and clean up here. So here's the Minccino. He's just going to go for the Bullet Seed, and will pick up a KO here, I believe. I'm actually not sure if he does. I believe he does. So the mix of speed and my speed actually just coming from, what is it called? Rain. That's where most of my speed comes from, is the Rain. But unfortunately, I was not able to keep my Pelipper alive. Had I kept my Pelipper alive and I played around this end game a little bit better, keeping my Pelipper alive, going into Kingdra, clicking Draco Meteor on stuff, it would have actually been good for me. But I keep my Kingdra alive just in case I can potentially pick up a kill. As I go out into my Ludicolo. So here, I still had a decent chance to possibly narrow the gap a little bit. So I figured Ludicolo puts pressure on his team. I can use it to play around Zygarde and Jellicent. Because if I get enough health recovered on my Ludicolo, he can't just click 1,000 Arrows. So I know I'm life orbed and stuff. Ludicolo is going to pick up another kill here this season. So I figured if I do pick up enough, or if I do keep Ludicolo healthy enough, I can KO the Jellicent, have it healthy enough to where he can no longer lock himself into 1,000 arrows. He has to lock himself into E-Speed. So I just go out into my Kingdra, I sack it off. I go out into my Mega Medicham now. As with Mega Medicham, I can click Fake Out, deal a lot of damage. But here instead, I went for the hard read. I thought he would go out into his Jellicent, and unfortunately for me there, that ends up costing me the game because I didn't need my Ludicolo to actually end up taking out the Jellicent. He's going to switch that in now as I am just going to go for the Fake Out. So it was played really poorly right there those last couple turns on my end. I'm just going to go for the Zen Headbutt, try to get the flinches, as that's pretty much all I can do at this point is Zen Headbutt, maybe get a flinch or two, make this a 1-0 game. I mean, that's pretty much my only option. He's going to go for the Scald here. He's going to do an okay amount of damage. He's not going to get the burn, and one more Medicham Zen Headbutt would actually take this out. As we will fall 1-0 to the New Jersey Brobats. Played the end game really poorly there with the over predictions. Wasn't aggressive enough early game with his switch initiative. It was just a bad performance this week by myself. And not much to blame there. So he's just going to go for the extreme speed. That will be the knockout and the game as we do fall to 3-1. Looking for a bounce back game here in week 4. But if you guys enjoyed this week 4 game, go ahead, follow, subscribe to the channel, go over, follow all the MPL coaches as well. With all that being said, guys, I am JohnnyGB, and I'm out.